Hello and welcome back. In the last lesson, we added the ability to add new to-dos. In this lesson, we'll add the ability to update existing to-dos. Okay, so first thing we want to do is we want to get rid of this binding pry that we had in our create action and save that. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to add an update, an edit, and an update action here. Okay, just like the new renders the template, the new action, and then that submission of the new template is handled by the create action. Similarly for edit, there's an edit action which will render the template, and then the submission of that template will be handled by the update action. Okay, so let's look at the routes first. So I'll type in break routes. Okay, so here's the edit listing. This is the edit path. Okay, and we need to, this is the format, the URL of the path, and it goes to the listings controller edit action. Okay, so let's build that first. In the listings controller, we're going to define edit end. Okay, and here, if you look at the edit listing path, you see that it's listings and then an ID/edit. Okay, so we need to pass in the ID of the to-do that we're looking to edit, or the listing that we're looking to edit. Okay, so add listing to instance variable equals listing.find params from the params hash, and we'll find it by ID. Okay, so this will find the listing that we want to edit. Now let me turn on the server first. Okay. Okay, so our server is running. So I'm going to go to the application, reload. Okay, so these are all individual listings, right? Now, if I want to edit any of them, then I would have to go to that listing ID, and that would be passed in this link, okay, in the params hash. So that is how I'm going to grab that. So how do we do that? First, in the index view, I need to pass in the listing object, okay, that I want to edit. So over here, after description, I'm going to give a comma, and then I want to pass in a link to edit to do, and then edit listing path. Okay, if you look at the path, there's the edit listing path, but it also needs the object. So edit listing path, and I'll pass in, whoops, wrong place. Over here, I have to pass in the listing that I want to edit. All right. Now, if I reload this page, I see an edit to do. Actually, I don't like this. It's showing in a different line, so I'll get rid of the comma. Now, if I hover over this, notice how at the bottom it shows listings/1.edit, meaning this was the first, the ID is 1. The primary key of that listing is 1. If I hover over the second one, you see listings2 edit, listings3 edit. So that is how we're going to capture the edit, the object which we want to edit, or the listing which we want to edit. Okay, so this part of the code is working. Now we need to handle the submission of this. So first we have to create the edit.html.erb file, which will be the template for the edit action. Okay, because right now, if I look under views, listings, I don't have an edit.html.erb, but I need that as the form and to handle the submission of the form. So let's go ahead and create that. So under listings, right click, new file, edit.html.erb. And let me pull this up, edit. Now this will be nearly identical to the new.html.erb. Okay, so I'm just going to copy the new HTML.erb, and then I'll just paste it over here. Now instead of add a new to-do, edit your to-do, and then the errors would be the same, listing, and form for listing, that would be the same. Now over here, submit your update. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this. If I click on edit to do, let's say we want to edit this one. Okay, there you go, it's working. Listings for edit is the URL. I see the description, which is hello testing, and submit your update. Okay, now if I submit this right now, I don't have an update action. So I want to create that update action. But before that, I want to see how it's getting passed in. Okay, so how are we going to do that? We're going to look at the binding. We're going to use binding pry to see how this is getting passed in. Okay, so over here, I will create an update action and put in a binding pry over here. So let me reload this page. Hello testing edited. Okay, now submit your update. Now binding pry has paused this, so I'll go to my terminal. Okay, now if I go to params, I see that the listing description, hello testing edited. I see that the action is update. The ID is 4, which is also correct. We checked that. And the controller is listings. So we're going to follow a very similar path that we did for create to update this. Okay, so I'll do Control D to release it, and I'll have an exception here because I don't have the update action defined as yet. So let me get rid of this. Now first thing I have to do is grab the listing, listing.find params ID, because we saw that it's getting passed in. If at listing dot update, right? Instead of save, here it will be update. But here we have to remember, for strong parameters, we have to whitelist what we're trying to update. So we're gonna use the listing params method, update listing params, then redirect to listings path, else render edit, and okay. Now that should be enough for the update action. So let's try it out. If I just go to listings and I go to hello testing and then edited and submit your update, there you go. We see hello testing edited. Okay. Now if let me put in an description over here. This was the empty one. Testing edit. Submit your update. Okay, now let's see if the errors are working. Errors display. So if I click on hello testing new, and then I remove this, and then try to submit. Okay, there was an error in your submission. Description cannot be blank. Okay, perfect. So our edit action seems to be working. And that's what I wanted to cover in this lesson. Next, we're going to cover the show action, and the delete action. I'll see you there.